I want to show you the evolution of the bust. If you'll remember the video that I posted where I'm wearing the muslin garment, this is the V neckline, and then this is the front part of the garment. There's another piece that's was sewn here, but I've undone that. But this, if this was sewn together, your bust of the dress would be right here. So if you'll remember, I felt like it was a little bit baggy under the cup. And so I took in and I pinned this section, and I also had a section pinned right here, okay, that I wanted to take fabric out of the front of the dress. I want to show you what has happened to my pattern since I've taken that fabric out of the dress, because it really changes the pattern. So my original pattern looked like this, okay? And so I want to show you, I drew in, if you can look up closely, I drew in that section as a dart that I'm taking out. So I'm going to cut that section out of my pattern. So when I cut that section out of the pattern and taped it back together, here's it taped back together. When I cut that section out of the pattern, if you can see, and not only did I cut that section out, I cut this front section out. If you'll look, this section is also coming out of the pattern. So if I lay that on top of there, that really, if you can see, that really changed the shape. So I've got this, if you'll look, I've got this small section that's cut out of the front. And also it raised up the bottom because I closed that dart up. So the bottom is now shorter. And that creates a problem, okay? Because originally with my pattern, this is the back piece. When I sew the bust and the back piece together, this side seam was the same length. But now that I've adjusted and taken out that fabric, as you can see, it changed the shape down here below. Let me show you up close because I don't know if you can see because of lighting. But it changed the shape of that. So this whole section is left open. So I need to add to that. So then I drew another pattern piece, okay? And I added, if you could see, I added that small triangle section down at the bottom. So now this new pattern piece has that dart section removed out of the cup, but it has the bottom section added, right? And that lines up perfectly. That lines up perfectly with my edge. And this is Christmas paper. I just used leftover Christmas paper to draw my patterns. But as you can see, now that fits perfectly. So I just wanted to show you how the bust has evolved. It started out here, okay? And then I drew in the dart. I cut the dart out, taped it together. And then that raised up the bottom, okay? And so now my side was shorter because I raised up the bottom. And so then I drew that triangle piece that got lifted. I added it down to the bottom. So now those two side pieces fit perfectly together, but the actual bust, the actual shape of the bust has been altered quite a bit. So that's how you do that when you're drawing it back into the pattern. But I wanted to show you the evolution basically of these three pieces and where the bust has transitioned to when I'm drawing the pattern. Go visit theeverythinghousewife.com, subscribe to my blog. Still working on that cocktail dress. And I'm working on pattern drafting. It's something that I've drafted patterns before, but I'm actually taking some classes right now online. So I'm fine-tuning things that I did not know before. And it's all making sense to me. So I'll be excited to teach more of the pattern drafting process once I feel like I've worked out most of those kinks myself, which I'm doing right now. Go visit theeverythinghousewife.com and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed.